Well, we made it, Gordo. I've managed to get prepared enough for Canterbury tomorrow.
This is so exciting. I'm so happy to be doing this show. I'm so happy to be talking about racing, a sport that has some integrity,
As opposed to...
unlike the soccer/football associations round the traps.
Right, I take it you failed?
I failed miserably. 10 weeks for swearing.
Yeah, okay.
What the hell's going on with this PC world? I needed Glenn in there to defend me.
You sure did.
Yeah.
And let me just say at the outset that Glenn went, in relation to last week's midweek preview, he said, "You just look so lonely." Note that he didn't offer to come on himself.
Yes.
Anyway.
Oh, and we've got spectators too.
Oh yeah, hang on. Look, don't trip over anything.
Yeah. There we go. Therell be another court case shortly.
Okay, so Canterbury tomorrow. It's a good-looking 7-race card. The rail's out 6 metres. The track is very dry, which will assist leaders. 6 metres can play a little bit down the outside, but given that we're at the time of the year where they're not too scared to water the track, so lots of dry weather means that the track is particularly firm, and I'd suggest you're looking for, or if you want assistance, find a leader. Race 1 is a field of 5, 3-year-old maiden over 1,100 metres, $3.10 the unraced Forever Dream, $3.30 the Darren Beedman trained NUI.
Oh, wasn't it great to see that in the RaceNet form guide?
$3.80 Dream I Can, $4.80 Free Sky, and the other Darren Beedman horse, Estafette, is $17. It seems weird to me because I see Darren Beedman in the form guide and I go, he's not riding anymore.
Yeah, I know. That's the first. I had to check myself a couple of times.
The other thing is, he doesn't seem like a trainer either.
No, he doesn't. He seems like a PR guy, doesn't he? But I suppose a lot of training is just PR these days, isn't it?
That's right. Graham Rogerson was the best. So this race, Free Sky looks to get out from his inside gate and lead, and NUI looks to sit outside. Dream I Can and Forever Dream sit off with Estafette. All right, Gordo, Richard Friedman is training the favourite here.
And I don't know how it's come up favourite.
Well, it's run two very good 7ths in its trials.
This doesn't seem to make sense, does it?
And it also looks like it should be trained by Ron Quinton. It's by Dream Ahead, and Dream I Can #1 is also by Dream Ahead, out of Of Course I Can. So, weirder and weirder and weirder. It does have T. Clark, the man of the moment, on board, but it wasn't in my thinking. Which way do you want to go?
I went with NUI.
NUI, it means listlessness, sort of.
Yeah, I'm a fan of like O'Shea horses that take forward positions.
What about Beedman horses that take forward positions?
Oh yeah, sorry, I've done it already. What's going on? Oh no, I'll tell you what, as soon as it's just you and I and not Glenn, don't the girls come out? Eh?
Well,
and I'm also a massive fan of having the 2,000 metre trials. This thing's primed, ready to go. Actually ran in the right trial last.
The Rusky Revo.
The good old Russian Revolution trial. No, it got gapped, but I'm thinking this might have a bit of ability, like the booking of Brenton Abdullah. Think it might just be the best horse in the race.
Okay, I'm laying Beedman tomorrow, so obviously there's a lot of interest in those Beedman runners, and it's not so much that Beedman's just taken over, because clearly he's had no factor in the state of play at the moment. It's for other reasons. Anyway, I'm with Free Sky, who worked. He in fact worked the unraced Decepticon into the ground there first up. He's second up as a gelding, and he just leads. So that's where I'm sitting, and we're both opposed to the unraced Forever Dream.
Yep.
Race 2, very interesting 2-year-old fillies maiden, and the market reads $3.80 Grand Theft Auto, $4.20 Sea Glass with the blinkers on, $5 Madonica, $7 is Kissing Game. This is another curious first starter. And then we're out to $15 Organza and Touch of Mink. Now Madonica gets the lead tomorrow, and it's in circumstances that will assist her if she's got anything. Grand Theft Auto went back to the tail the other day at Randwick, but I'm sure that she'll settle a lot closer tomorrow. All Sassitude with the blinkers on looks to work forward, and that was pretty much it. Now, the market is very scared of John Thompson horses, as am I, but they seem particularly scared of this number 3 Kissing Game, Gord. Any clues?
No, no clues. Couldn't have it. I actually, you know, when I see Jay Thompson, you know, I'm going to have a closer look at the horse. I found other things in the race, but to be honest, it's not a race I have a lot of confidence about. It seems to be far too many sort of angles coming from everywhere. I'm not sure which horse is going to be the best. I totally agree with you. Madonica is suited, but is she anything? She might be, but we don't know yet.
No. Look, it was unsympathetic the other day, but at the same time, she gave in quickly.
Yeah, and the other one that sort of I had a half look at was Sea Glass number 10.
Surely Grand Theft Auto was 50 billion times better run than anything. I know it was wet.
Yeah.
I know she was primed, but she was restrained to the tail. She ran past everything and was in the finish.
Yeah, you know, so there's a few horses in this race that come out of that same race, and I just couldn't get my head around which one I actually wanted to take out of it. So look, it's a no-bet race for me, but what you mentioned as far as the map's concerned makes me slightly interested in number 5, Madonica.
Yeah, look, I would bracket 2 and 5 at this stage. As far as the unraced are concerned, I didn't find much. There was a horse that raced a debut at Gosford that I was hopeful of because she trialled in a good heat. I speak of Touch of Mink. She didn't do much at 1,000, but I suggest that she's got some talent. She's got good glint on tomorrow. Race 3, 2-year-old Colton Gelding's maiden, this time over 1,200 metres. And it's, where do we start here? $5 Kementari, the Beedman runner. $5 another Beedman runner, Malahat. He's got 3 in this race. $7 Angels Boys, $7 Hong Ji Gong, $8 Ruler, $9 High Dive, the Waller trained, $15 down the bottom Star of Africa, who's got a stablemate there in number 12 Ruler. Malahat is possessed of good speed. High Dive will posse up. I'd suggest that Kementari has some speed, the unraced, and it's not, well, perhaps it is obvious, but Gay has drawn the leader's gate here with a horse that's only had the short course trials, and I'll bet London to a brick on that this horse just carves across.
Yes, can't back it because it's only had the short trials.
Like, what's going on? They've been cute for the last 6 months, haven't they?
But I mean, it did interest me. I had a look and then I just fell in love with a horse. Number 9, Malahat. Glenn mentioned to me last preparation that he thought this was a very stylish horse. It definitely comes out of the right trial. I have a massive opinion of Al Manzora, as people who regularly watch will know, who got us our wins last preparation, and who came 3rd in that particular trial, Taking Aim.
Indeed.
Which went down and won the big race down in Morpheville, was it? Or
no, went to Gold Coast. Ken Russell Classic.
Yeah, pretty keen on it. The only question mark I had is I thought Brenton Abdullah would be on the primary Beedman horse.
Not necessarily. Right? Look, there's just no quibble there as far as I'm concerned.
I mean, you have a look at what...
Well, what do you make of the other one then? You're wrapping 9, which I agree with. What are you saying about 7?
Well, unknown quantity, but doesn't have the points on the board like Malahat does, and I actually liked Malahat's trial better as well. Okay, well that's important. That's an important important point. Look, last preparation, Invader, Pariah, Minari.
Terrible names, just terrible names. It clearly can't go. What is the story with this Ruler? Who, look, Snowden, they just keep popping up. I initially looked at the race and I went, well, there's McAvoy on one and Bowman on the other. Maybe the Bowman one is the preference. Did you see anything?
I've, as we mention all the time, what do we do with Snowden trials? So what'll happen is if I don't find anything that really strikes my interest in the other horses, then at odds I will be interested in the Snowden horses that haven't trialled so well, because they're an unknown quantity. But on this occasion I've actually found a horse that I'm very interested in backing, so they'll have to be against me.
Yeah, look, I think they're interesting runners, 12 and 14. Sure, you should note that the time for the trial of number 14 was only 3.5 seconds out, which all of the trials were really were well out, but this one was 3.5 seconds out.
So was it 106.7?
Yeah.
Wow.
So the other
didn't see
trials,
that.
the other trials were like 1-5, mid-5s. But I mean, they were all out. But Star of Africa trial was particularly out.
Yep.
Yeah. So look, I imagine that Angel's Boy does run well here, and Gord, I'm very, very fearful of your tip, Malahat. Race 4, staying race. You betting here?
No.
$33 to Gord. $3.20 is Nothing Box. $5.50 is Stablemate Tumultuous. $7 is Red Debawi. $8 Lead Choreographer. So we've already got 3 wallers in there. $10 Life of Brian next pick out to 15 My Giuliano up the top. Now, Nothing Box would like to take it up. Be Like Dad may have other ideas, who's very fresh. Lead Choreographer will be on speed, and Life of Brian may endeavour to take it up. Tumultuous won't be far away. It's an honestly run, medium-sized field over 1900 metres. Obviously the lead up is Red Debawi and Nothing Box, and they both went okay in their races. Have you got anything to offer before I spend 20 minutes on this race?
Well, I like listening to you, and sometimes I decide on a bet after I've heard you. The only horse that I made any notation next to was number 6, and what did I put next to it? A question mark.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Well, he's an interesting runner because he was in the slow lane first up, and really had no opportunity. He looks like an improver. Number 1 did step from 13 to 21 the other day. Clearly had no hope under those circumstances. Has an 11-day backup, has very good Canterbury record, and is a good $15 chance. Number 2, likewise, did nothing the other day after a slow start, but prior to that was racing well, and his best form has been 1900 at Canterbury. Number 3 has no chance. Number 4 is racing as well as he can. Did have his chance the other day, but has to be there. Number 5 I can't have. 6 we've mentioned. 7, he ran long odds the other day, but he did power away from them. It's hard to argue with that win, obviously under sympathetic circumstances. 8 is a 3-year-old that appeared to win his race the other day. 9 ran in that same race, but seems to be getting ready. And the bottom one, what you see is what you get. He's on a 7-day backup. He raced on the speed the other day. He'll give his all again with a good rider on board. It's an even race.
So Life of Brian leads with Kerrin McAvoy.
Well, he tries to lead. I wouldn't say he obviously leads. Nothing Box could easily take it up. Nothing Box is the fastest horse in this race.
Okay. If Life of Brian got the lead with Kerrin McAvoy on board, that's something that might interest me.
All right, so I've sealed him in already. Yeah. That's race 4. We'll be back with the last 3 races, which are quite full races, on the other side, in fact, in part 2.